Maddie, Pastor Todd Sharon, Deep Dixie Racing Report. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We're so glad to have you on our show tonight. And just hold on for a second, Maddie. For those of you that are just tuning in to the Deep Dixie Racing Report, you stopped by at a great time. We are just beginning our conversation with Madeline Crane. And I'm being told, Maddie, that your nickname is Mad Maddie. Give me a little bit of background on how you picked up that name, sis.
Well, I've been racing since I was 10 years old. So actually, my first ever crew chief came up with it. And I really just think it was because it's so catchy. So what's funny about it is I'm from Meansville, Georgia. So it's Mad Maddie from Meansville.
I love it. I love it. Maddie, do you mind if I steal your nickname and give it to our producer, Dale Hall, and we'll call him Mad Dale Hall? How does that sound to you?
Sure.
Folks, we are joined on the line right now by Miss Maddie Crane. Maddie, you just said that you started racing when you were 10 years old. On that note, I want you to just give us a snapshot of how old you are now, of where you began, how your career has kind of unfolded to this point.
Well, I'm 17, so I've been racing for 7 years. And yeah, so when I was 10, my grandfather got me started out racing bandoleros at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And he agreed to take what we did when I was around 8 years old. So my mom, she just, let me do that. So finally he convinced me when I was 10 to let me do a rapid drive. So we did that, and I just fell in love with it. So I ran bandoleros for 3 years, I think, and then we jumped into a legend car and went fishing too. So we kind of traveled around the country racing those, and so we randomly after decided to go dirt racing, and I've been running dirt late models for the past 2 seasons. So we're just recently sort of jumping out of that and into the asphalt late models.
Gotcha. Maddie, I know that one of the things that that really made headlines just this past summer is when the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, each year that they have done this, I think, the third year now, they go to Eldora, that historic track up there in Ohio, and you actually went up there and you actually made that show before you had some problems, and it kind of put an end to your weekend. But tell us a little bit about how you got there, your equipment. What did it feel like to be up there with all those other racers, and just overall, what was the experience like?
Yeah, this was a very amazing opportunity, so I was really disappointed with how it ended up. But yeah, we went up there with one of our good buddies, Tracy Wallace. He obviously owns a truck, so him and my grandfather were talking and decided to throw me in. We were on our way to Eldora, and practice went pretty well. I think we ended up like 20th fastest overall of practice, and so before qualifying, we went through tech and ended up having to change a bunch of stuff on the truck, and the track had changed so much since practice, and everything's a combination with what we changed on the truck and how much the track changed. Just it didn't play into our hands, and we went to turn one, and the truck just didn't respond like I needed it to. So it was very disappointing. It messed up a lot of stuff on the truck, but overall it was a great experience, and I was very, very blessed and grateful to have been given that opportunity to go and do that. Absolutely.
If you're just tuning in to the Deep Dixie Racing Report, we are joined on the phone by Miss Maddie Crane. She's a dirt late model driver and recently made a great attempt up at Eldora with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series as they visited up there for what they call the Mud Summer Classic. Maddie, at 17 years old, if I do the math right, I have my youngest son is 17. Does that make you a senior in high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does it feel like, first of all, right now diversity is probably more prevalent than it ever has been. There's been so much that has happened just over maybe the last 7-8 years. But being a female driver, and not only that, but being a very young lady, how has that affected your racing career? Has it hurt you? Has it opened up doors? Tell us about that.
I mean, I definitely think being a female in the sport with a lot of males, that definitely does help, because there are a lot of people out there that want to see diversity and see females and, a bunch of minorities and, in the sport. So, I think it has helped a lot, and in ways it hasn't. So it's just kind of tit for tat.
Got it. Now, when you got a taste of what I will say the big time, when you get on a national stage like that, just to be able to be around that atmosphere and the whole feeling, the whole vibe, I know that's probably not going to be enough to satisfy you. What plans do you and the folks that helped you out with that race, do y'all have any plans in the near future to try it again, or maybe even try something in the Infinity or anything like that?
Well, I don't know. Right now, I'd like to say so, but the reason we went and did that was because it was a dirt race, and we have been running a lot of dirt recently, so we thought it was a great opportunity. But right now, hopefully we're going to run a few asphalt late model races. We really need to get that asphalt experience. So I don't know. Ultimately our goal is, hopefully to one day, be running some NASCAR races. But we're just kind of taking it race by race and seeing where it takes us. Gotcha.
We're joined on the line right now by Miss Maddie Crane. A lot of people know her as Maddie from Meansville, Georgia. Maddie, Meansville, Georgia, that doesn't ring a bell to me. First of all, what is that near as far as a town that we would all recognize if we heard the name? And secondly, what are the primary tracks that you run at in your dirt late model?
It's really close to Griffin. Do you know where Griffin is?
Yeah.
We're about 45 minutes south of Atlanta Motor Speedway. So, but yeah, I ran this past year. I've been running at Genoa, in Genoa, Georgia, and the first the first time race we were running at Dixie Speedway in Woodstock, Georgia, and Rome Speedway in Rome, Georgia.
Very good. Maddie, I know that when you're your age, or anyone's age for that matter, and you've got a dream, I love it. I love the energy. I love the excitement that I hear in your voice, and I can also tell that you've been around this game long enough that you've got a balanced, very realistic outlook of what it takes to make it. What is in your plans for your future? Not necessarily if racing don't work out, because I believe it will. I think it already has. But what other things are you interested in as far as career-wise?
I don't know. I'm young, so I'm one of those people. I have all these ideas, and I cannot make up my mind. I do not know, but yeah, I'm definitely planning on going to college. Whether I'm actually, going to a school or if I'm doing it online, but I don't know. I have an interest in mechanical engineering. I think that'd be awesome. I don't know. I'm just kind of land on either that or, I don't know. I'm still trying to make up my mind.
Gotcha. My son is 17, and every single day I come home, there's something from college is on the counter, and we're looking at all that. And I asked my son the same question, my own son, and I said, what is it that you really want to do? And he looked back and said, Dad, I'm not sure. So I totally get that, and I think if most people were honest, I think when I was 17, man, I don't know if I even had a clue what I was going to do the next week, much less with my life. But that's a very good approach, Maddie.
It's crazy because they want you to know what you want. They want you to know when you're like a freshman in high school, and I'm about to be a senior, and I still have no idea. So make up my mind.
Yeah. Our producer Dale Hall, he went to school to be a bull rider and then decided he didn't want to do that. So, but anyway, we're joined on the line right now by Maddie Crane. Maddie, Dale's a good friend of mine. That's the reason why I can mess with him like that. Maddie, I don't get the privilege of interviewing a lot of female racers, and one of the things that Dale brought up, and it was an excellent idea, no kidding, that we should try to look and get some diversity and whatever. And get some females input here. Now, one of the things that I think of when I think of female racers, there's one name that comes to my mind, and it's Danica Patrick. I think she probably is more in the spotlight than anybody else I know. as a young female driver, aspiring driver, do you look to her any differently than say you would anybody else? And the follow-up to that is, who is your favorite Sprint Cup driver?
I don't know if I look to them differently. I think it's awesome to be a female racer, but, then again, I'm just another driver. And, my favorite driver is Tony Stewart. He's awesome, and, growing up, I've always looked up to him, so he's definitely my favorite driver.
Got it. Maddie, before we let you get out of here, I know that it takes a lot of help, and one of the things that we wanted to use the Deep Dixie Racing Report for was to allow our guests, whether you're a track owner, a promoter, a car owner, a driver, whatever the case may be, it takes so much help and support to do this these days. We want to give everybody an opportunity to give some love to the people that's helped them out, both financially, sponsorship-wise, and even the folks that help you out turning the wrenches on the car. So give us a little idea of the folks in Maddie Crane's world that helps her go racing.
Well, definitely my sponsors, Atlanta Air Exchange, Air Tech, Victory Lane Vinyl, Burkeville Bell and Associates. My grandfather, I wouldn't be here without him. He got me started in racing, and just my family for all their support. I wouldn't be able to do it without them, and all the fans are amazing.
Very good, very good.
Shout out to all of them guys.
Yeah, very cool. We are wrapping up our conversation with Miss Maddie Crane. She's a 17-year-old dirt late model driver to this point. She's kind of transitioning into some asphalt racing. And Maddie, my parting question to you before we let you go, just a few miles down the road, we have a pretty historic track here, an asphalt track, and I hear the advertisement often. They advertise Watermelon Capital Speedway as the only asphalt track in Georgia other than Atlanta Motor Speedway, is what I've heard. Do you have any plans of racing, say, at Watermelon Capital? And another place I think of is when they do the Snowball Derby. Where's that, Pensacola? Do you guys have any ideas of any of the asphalt races we could catch you at between now and the end of the year?
We ran at Speed Fest this past year at Cordell, I think in February. So, to be honest with you, that's so kind of far ahead. I mean, not really far ahead, but that's not really something we've talked about lately. So I don't know, maybe, but right now, all we really got planned is maybe in 2 weeks we might go back to Shenandoah, Virginia, and run one of them races, and hopefully go to Langley Speedway in Virginia in September and the race there. So really, all that we have planned, and hopefully more in the future.
Very cool, very cool. Maddie, do you have a Facebook page or a website, or how can...
I do. You can find me on Facebook under Maddie Racing, and I think the same on Twitter at Madeline Crane Racing, I think. Mm-hmm. So, you can check me out on both Facebook and Twitter.
Very good.
I gotta mess with her a minute. Okay. Maddie, did Clint get your car fixed? Did he tore up?
I don't know. I've been to the shop lately, so I'm pretty sure. Hopefully they're working on it. I think he tore it up pretty bad, so I'm not sure.
Okay, all right.
Maddie, I want to tell you, Dale Hall, our producer, he actually has had an opportunity to interview you, I think, on several different occasions, and he's very, very impressed with you. And I want to tell you, after this interview, I am as well, and we really do appreciate you taking time out to join us tonight. We wish you the very best, not only in your racing career, but this year in high school as a senior. And we pray that God will be with you and bless you in all that you do, sis.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
Very good. Maybe we can do this again real soon. God bless you, and we'll talk to you. All right. That's Miss Madeline Crane, Mad Maddie from Meansville, Georgia. How cool is that? You couldn't have planned that any better. But I tell you, listening to her talk, what a well-grounded young lady. I mean, being in racing for about 7 years now, that's a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. And you can tell that she's well-spoken. She knows how to respond. And I love the fact that she's got a realistic outlook. And those are the kind of people that usually end up making it. And so if you want to check her out, you can find her on Facebook. I think it's Madeline Crane Racing. She's also got Twitter, and I'm pretty sure you could Google her and And you may have an opportunity to catch her up in Shenandoah and at Langley Speedway up in Virginia. That is Miss Madeline Crane. Brian, very, very cool
Yeah.
to start the show out. 17 years old, actually mixing it up at Eldor Speedway.
Yep.
A lot of drivers, solid racers that have been in this game for their entire life have not even had the opportunity to do that. So that's a pretty big deal, and only a senior in high school, man.
I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.